Hey guys, welcome back to Montana. I'm in a 2016 Chevy Suburban. Customer states that they've got a temp gauge that goes out of whack, sometimes reads 0, sometimes goes higher. This Suburban's got 196,000 miles on the clock. Customer also supplied their own parts. We'll see if we need them or not. So let me get this in the shop and we'll scan the codes. For anyone wondering, this one's got the 5.3. All right, it's got some faults. Some of these are really not going to matter for what we're doing. All right, BCM came back for the right front headlamp, so we'll check those out. Yep. You see up there, it's reading, I don't know, 180. The computer is showing 154. So, I mean, he's got it, so we might as well swap it. We got a service driver assist system. The seat vibrate, I didn't know it did that. I don't know, that's gonna be a concern for him, but I will bring it up. I think we'll start with the low-hanging fruit. We'll do thermostat and the temperature sensor. I was just trying to hang my light on the hood, and it looks like we got an aluminum hood. So we need to get thermostat here and then the sensor on the other side. Looks like we gotta take off this crazy looking intake. Got a connection for the PCV and another one over here. Coolant lines come out of the way, so it looks like we can just loosen this here. Hopefully that wind noise isn't too bad for you, but not too much I can do about it today. Start by loosening this clamp on the intake, on the airbox. So these are supposed to be push fittings. There we go. Push from the bottom on this guy. Helps if you push it in, gives you clearance. And we got another hose clamp right here. Wind's blowing, somebody's dog is yapping. There we go. One giant silencer airbox. Looks like we got a coolant overflow line with a hose clamp. The upper coolant hose 2 with the hose clamp. The sensor. And then probably 10 mil bolts. We'll pull that off for the thermostat housing. Let's start with these clamps. You could use hose clamp pliers, but I find they slip, and I think there's a special tool for these guys. But these lockjaws should do it. There we go. Yep, there we go. I'm pulling myself up on the ladder more than I'm pulling the hose off. Thankfully, I'm not too worried about the housing because we have a new housing, but I don't want to tear the hose. There we go. There we go. Not too bad. Probably get a little. Let's see if we get any coolant. Yeah, we're gonna get a little coolant. Been a while since I used the GoPro. Hope it doesn't come back to bite me. Lose all the footage. I wonder what the science is for these hoses getting stuck. There we go. I guess these are 10. Yep. I'm doing it by hand because I wanted to see how tight they are when I put it back on. I think it's 8 to 11 or 11 to 14 foot-pounds left. For, yeah, they're barely on there. Barely on there. That's good to know because this is aluminum, and definitely we don't want any cracking of that. I need an extension over here. Yep, all the bolts are the same. Yeah, we're losing quite a bit here. That looks like the O-ring stayed on here. Yep. Just want to try and clean up the surface a little bit. It's not bad, it looks good in there. Fluid looks good. Or coolant, rather. So now for the sensor, just pry the locking tab up and clip off. Let's see how big that is. 15 maybe, 16? Not even close, 19 mil. Yeah, just good and tight. Don't need to kill it. The sensor's out. Looks like got some sealant in there. Well, there's definitely sealant on these threads. New part looks pretty identical. Oh good, new one's got sealant on it, so we're golden. I was gonna see if I had any Honda Bond laying around. And it's got a copper washer at the top. Going gently with a deep socket until it bottoms out. Okay, really not going any further than that. That's on, there we go. Yep, there we go. New one going in. Gotta try and get it seated evenly to start. I'll put these in by hand. And then we'll, don't need to be that tight, but let's, doesn't need to be that tight, but I'm gonna do it around kind of evenly. Seems crazy to me that they gotta say the whole housing and not just the thermostat. Want to clean it up. I mean, I know it'll dry, but at least we'll know if we're leaking coolant out of there. Let's get it back together. Put my tools away before I was done. Let's see. Oh, it locked. Haha, I did it so well that it locked open. Forgot these locks. There we go. Okay. Let's get the intake back on. There we go. Tighten up the clamp. So I'm replacing headlights for M2, which I'm not going to film, and I got to take the airbox out for that. So we're going to leave this disconnected for now. We can get the PCVs. There we go. Coolant's low, so let's add some coolant. I think it was kind of low to begin with. So my dad used to say, let's clean up America. Not perfect, but we were in here. Not too bad. I've got a little bit more to do on the truck, so I'll check back with you in a little bit. I don't want to pull it out right now and double my work. We're going to have to just burp it and make sure the coolant level's good, make sure it's not leaking under pressure. We'll let it run and come up to temperature, and we'll check those codes. So it looks like I neglected to film an outro for this. I think I got so caught up in the evap system that I forgot. But I test drove the truck. Temperature seemed a little bit high. So I ran the heat for a while and let it idle after coming up to temperature. And then temperature seemed to drop a little bit and stay lower. Checked the computer codes, cleared the codes out from everything, and things were fine. Also, it seemed like the reading between the gauge and the computer were a little bit closer after that as well. So far fixed, and there were no leaks. If this video helped you, please hit that like button, subscribe for more. Until next time, may God bless you, and keep standing up for what's right.